I know I say it pretty much once a week on the nose, but nevertheless, good Friday to you. Thank you so much for being a part of the program. It's not the best of Fridays weather-wise, unless you had an opportunity to maybe stay inside in front of a fire and take in a little nap on the couch. That would have been a good thing for everyone. Nevertheless, it has been a major change. What a difference a day can make. 20 to 30 degrees off the mark from yesterday, and the day before, the day before, and so on and so forth. That's going to be our weather forecast to some degree for the next several days. It's not all doom and gloom, but definitely some cooler air, and yes, patchy frost makes an appearance in our forecast on more than one occasion. We do have some sunshine, however, in there as well, and some dry days. But we'll talk about what is certainly a more fall-like forecast for us all. In a few nights down into the 30s, we do believe, at least one, maybe two, maybe three throughout your forecast period. I'll outline that in more detail in just a few moments. Headlines tonight will include fiscal court coverage from yesterday, where it appears as though, with the county government missing the deadline to set tax rates, it is a mandatory increase for tax rates across the board for Magoffin County. We'll talk about how that has evolved, and you'll hear much of the discussion yesterday. The Board of Education in Magoffin County met last evening. We'll have a brief coverage of that. An auto accident earlier today that authorities say shouldn't have happened because the driver of the vehicle that caused the crash shouldn't have been behind the wheel. We'll have calendar announcements. The calendar, I think, is up and running tonight in normal capacity and fashion. So all that and more before we leave you. Only one announcement from elsewhere before we turn to local headlines tonight, and that is the passing of the former mayor of Martin. She died in federal prison. Ruth Thomasine Robinson, the former mayor of Martin, who was sentenced to 7.5 years in federal prison, has died. Robinson was sentenced in October of 2014 for conspiracy to violate civil rights, conspiracy to defraud the Social Security Administration, federal program fraud, aggravated identity theft, and vote buying as well. She was incarcerated in Fort Worth, Texas, in the FMC Carswell unit, where she died, we have learned, at the age of 72. Judge Multipar also sentenced, when she was sentenced as well, her husband, James Red Robinson, 64 to 40 months in prison for vote buying. Thomasine Robinson and her co-conspirators, which also included her daughter as well, intimidated poor and disabled citizens in order to gain their votes during Robinson's campaign for re-election in 2012, directing residents of public housing to vote by absentee ballot under the supervision of herself or another member of the conspiracy. Conspirators also would fill out those absentee ballots, making their choice or marking their choices for the candidates, and instructed the voters to sign the pre-marked ballots. Voters who complied received promises of better living arrangements. Those who didn't got evicted and faced other consequences. A rear-end collision happened earlier today in Salyersville, one that authorities say shouldn't have happened, as the driver of one of the vehicles, the SUV which collided with the rear end of a pickup truck, shouldn't have been behind the wheel. This was traffic at a standstill around noon today after a two-car collision on Parkway Drive that involved a total of 3 adults and 2 children. The driver of the silver Jeep Cherokee that hit the back of a Chevy pickup truck told authorities that he looked down to pick up his cap and crashed into the back of the truck as traffic had slowed in front of him. The driver of the pickup truck, who was alone in his vehicle, as well as the 2 adults and 2 children in the SUV, all refused medical attention at the scene. However, one of them was transported to the hospital. The accident, handled by Josh Peace of the Salyersville Police Department and Trooper Zach Haney of the Kentucky State Police. Haney questioned the driver of the Jeep, 28-year-old Scotty Fletcher of Magoffin County, and after investigation determined that he was under the influence while under the wheel. Haney then took Fletcher to the Palby Hall Medical Center to be medically cleared before taking him to the Big Sandy Regional Detention Center, where Fletcher was lodged on several charges, including DUI in the 3rd offense with aggravated circumstances, as well as driving on a DUI suspended license. He was also cited for not having any insurance on the vehicle, no registration plate, no registration receipt, and other traffic infractions. Records also show that we've been able to find that Haney had actually arrested Fletcher just this past May on his 2nd offense DUI charge, and that Fletcher wasn't eligible to get his driver's license back from that charge until June of next year. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. At least one magistrate continues to disagree with Judge Executive Harden, this time over setting tax rates and purchasing a vehicle for the Meals on Wheels program for the McGoffin County senior citizens. Fiscal court coverage in just a few moments. Right now, a brief update on last night's McGoffin County Board of Education. First, Brent Patrick came before the Board of Education, offering a monetary donation, hoping to encourage other such donations in encouragement for students to achieve a perfect attendance rate with some sort of rewards or incentives program. The idea received well by the Board of Education. A representative of the Morehead State University Talent Search organization was on hand. Talent Search assists and encourages many first-generation students, meaning those who might be the first in their family to go on to college. They offer many programs throughout a 13-county area of the MSU area, focusing on students in grades 6 through 12. A brief update from Director of Finance Kevin Owens. He spoke of the ongoing district-wide audit just being completed with the results pending. In an update from architect Mike Sparkman and construction manager Bill Cobb, they're still working on the punch list for the new McGoffin County High School, sod issues, doors, and some other items that still need to be addressed in their one-year warranty phase. Director of Pupil Personnel Brian Conley gave a brief update on school attendance and enrollment right now. District-wide, 94.24% in attendance. The Harold Whitaker Middle School with right at 95%. And the district as a whole has 2,049 enrolled students plus Head Start students, which would put the total number at 2,186. Superintendent Scott Helton in his report gave a reminder about the McGoffin County School District being designated as a proficient district and how they're still analyzing test scores and looking for ways to improve. And then the board revisited a motion to purchase AEDs, automatic electronic defibrillators, for each school property throughout the district.
Consider approving to purchase automated external defibrillators, AEDs, for the district.
I'll make a motion to approve.
I second it.
With that motion, I would like to see us purchase for all 5 schools, one for the football track complex, one for the baseball, softball, tennis complex, and the Board of Education complex, if at all possible.
So that's a total of 8, Jesse?
Total of 8.
Total of 8, one in each school.
Yes. If we want to protect one, we need to protect all.
That's right.
I agree.
Later, board member minus Ray Helton made a motion to purchase 3 school buses at the advisement of the superintendent and the director of the bus garage. They'll purchase 3 new buses with air conditioning, those to be purchased and be on the ground by the fall of next year. With Superintendent Helton noting that most of the school buses are 12 to 15 years of age in the fleet, and only 4 have been purchased in the last 10 years. These will also be the first with air conditioning to be purchased by the school district. And one of the last few items of business was to purchase lighting, new fixtures for the Career and Technical Center, which ironically will be paid for by a rebate of some $17,000 the school system has received from AEP for the new McGoffin County High School, basically from it being a green facility. I also, on a personal note, wish to extend a big thank you to Brandy Helton Howard. I know she had a lot of help from a lot of other individuals who I just can't really recall right now as far as all of them are concerned, but she was a member of the organization who put together the idea and the presentation before the board in an effort to try to get those AEDs into the schools, and everyone, as you heard, was in agreement with it, and we think it's a wonderful thing, and hopefully it's something that will never, ever have to be used, but it is nice knowing that indeed they will be there. We'll be here with more headlines in a few moments. Right now, we're here with tonight's community calendar, brought to you by our friends at McGoffin Farm Bureau. I got a couple birthday wishes. One was already belated yesterday, and now we'll add another day on to that because we had some issues with the calendar yesterday. So a happy belated birthday to Dorothy Conley, the family and friends, and everyone at the IPCC Church. Happy birthday, Dorothy. And I've also got a birthday wish tonight going out to Donna. That's Donna Cox. Love your daughter in Point Pleasant who phoned this one in, and a whole lot of family and friends too. Happy birthday to you. Before we go on to this and other announcements, I just have this one in. The Montgomery County Board of Health has called a special meeting, a special session for Monday evening at 7 o'clock at the Health Department. The announcement in front of you is from the Sagersville Waterworks, the boil water advisory, which was issued for those businesses and homes from Dairy Queen to Cash Express and Lick Branch, has been lifted. You no longer need to boil your cooking or drinking water. A quick reminder for our young ladies from the 3rd through the 6th grade. The Montgomery County Lady Hornets basketball team is hosting a clinic tomorrow for those groups at 3 through 6th grades are invited to attend. It's going to be a drills clinic focusing on dribbling, passing, shooting. If you have a basketball, bring it with you. They don't have enough probably for all the girls they're expecting. Registration at 1:30. The clinic starts exactly and promptly at 2. It lasts till 5. It's just $10 per participant. And any girl interested in playing basketball should attend, and if you do, you'll get to be a part of a demonstration with the Lady Hornets during the Maroon and White Night, set for November the 18th. Don't forget about the Haunted Woods Trail on the lower end of town in Sagersville and Lee Prater Street. You'll see the signs. They're also having concessions and an outdoor theater, so come get your scare on. It's just $5, and that's at Lee Prater Street on West Maple Street in Sagersville. Attention all ladies out there, you're invited to the Path to Destiny. It's a women's conference. It's tomorrow morning beginning at 10 at the New Life Worship Center with guest speaker Margie Tanner, who says that, ladies, this will be a refreshing time of worship, inspiration, and fellowship. She hopes to see you there 10 o'clock tomorrow morning at New Life Worship. And looking ahead, I've got a really full calendar all ready for next week. That means folks are watching and they're listening and they're using our calendar because it's free and the best way to let everyone know what you've got planned and to tell anyone about a birthday and anniversary too. So send your announcements in. We'll tell everyone about them anyway on your screen, or always drop them off here at the studio by the Sagersville Post Office on East Maple. And lastly, an announcement brought to you by the Montgomery County Funeral Home, one that was for yesterday's program that we were unable to air, but does come tonight in loving memory of Flora Collins on what would have been her 103rd birthday from her daughter. While there was no official vote to do so yesterday afternoon because the county has moved to set tax rates past the deadline, real estate and property taxes will most definitely see an increase to at least the compensating rate. After payment of the bills and other standard business procedures, Judge Harden motioned to give the Middle Fork Volunteer Fire Department their $5,000 contribution from coal severance funds. And then the judge also motioned to hire Paula Conley and a Ramona Conley at the 911 Dispatch Center in Montgomery County. Harden's motions were all approved. However, when Harden motioned to hire Louis Patrick as an assistant to Jailer Brian Montgomery, Magistrate Matthew Wireman questioned why Jailer Montgomery wasn't involved in the decision and why the position was not in the budget.
I make a motion we hire the deputy jailer, Mr. Louis, or to assist the jailer, Mr. Louis Patrick. Is there a second? I second. Motion been made and second. Any discussion?
How do we do this when there's no deputy jailer in the budget?
Hiring to help the jailer, so we will move the budget items around to accomplish that. We'll have to come back with a budget amendment if I don't have it in my executive.
I believe we need to make the budget amendment first before we do this. Is this someone that the jailer is requested to be hired?
No.
So the jailer is not involved in the hiring of his own staff?
Not by our administrative code.
What section is that in?
I can't quote section, but I wrote it, so
I don't believe we should be spending money to get the jailer's input, and that the budget amendment should be done.
I'll withdraw my motion and continue it the way it is then.
Later, another disagreement, this time on setting tax rates, which the county still hasn't done. As you're about to hear in the discussion, Magistrate Wireman motions to keep the real estate tax rate the same at 43.6 cents per every $100 of valuation, and to take less than the compensating rate on personal taxes. Personal or tangible taxes went from 55.4 cents for every $100 to 71.3 cents last year, and the compensating rate this year was approximately 70.7, a bit less, with Wireman motioning to set that rate at 60.4. Also at issue, as you're going to hear, is that the county treasurer and Judge Hardin noted that Kentucky statute says the county had 45 days to set the tax rates, and because they didn't within that time, they must take the compensating rate on both taxes, a problem that Hardin blamed on his distraction with his legal issues and on the treasurer.
Next item on the agenda is set the tax rates. So motion concerning that.
I make a motion that we leave the real estate rate at the same as 2016 at 43.6 cents, and the personal property rate, what is the compensating rate for that? It just
At
went down.
43,
No, that doesn't come into that.
if we leave it at the 43,
No, that wouldn't change the rate on that.
it changes the personal property.
No, you can still set it.
Well, if you leave it the same, this is what it would change it to. If you want to go, this is the maximum. It's currently
Set it at
0.713.
71.31.
Yes, that's what it's set at right now. But if you leave this is the maximum that it can be.
I move it be 60.641.
But, Judge, I showed you that letter earlier. I'm afraid that we're not exactly, that we can do that.
We can't, unfortunately. One of the problems that happens when you're involved in a bunch of litigation is you concentrate on that area. So from that perspective, I plead my part of the fault, that this wasn't done in a manner that would allow us not to take the compensating rate
I'll take that.
as the time is all elapsed. Kyla, you should have brought it to my attention.
I should have brought it up to you again.
Quite frankly, I'm surprised Matt didn't bring it up. You're the finance guy. But we have to take the compensating rate. Since we take the compensating rate, we can actually not take the full compensating rate that we'll eke out before we even get to that.
That's right.
Explain that.
There's on the letter, there's a KRS, and if you look at particular KRS, you can't go above 0.50 or 50 cents. So you've got two different things involved. You've got your 45-day limit that says after that you shall take compensating.
But there's also a
And
statute
then
in there
there's
that says
also a
rates set after
statute.
that if any rates levied after that 45 days shall not be disallowed if they're set at a lower rate. What are you saying, 50?
Well, it's in this KRS, and I'm sorry, I don't have the KRS pulled up right here in this Kentucky constitutional section.
It's
There's a
in-
maximum, yes.
I've never seen that one before.
The Department of Local Government brought it to our attention.
I've got a motion, you can say that it's voted down or
I'd like an
whatever.
amendment to your motion to take the compensating as up to the allowable portion.
That would still be an increase of nearly 7 cents on the real estate owners in Oglala County.
Now, we waited to, according to the advice we give to the
But we can still set the rate at 43. There is a statute that allows that.
That's not what my legal advice is. So I make that amendment to your motion. Will you accept that amendment?
No.
Is there a second to my amendment? I second. Motion been made and second to the amendment. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay.
No.
No.
Motion fails. Is there a second? Is there a motion to the amendment, to the original? Is there a second to the original motion?
Yes.
Motion been made and second. Any discussion?
And following a roll call vote, that motion too failed to pass. With that motion failing, it was mentioned that a special session may be called next week to revisit the matter. Lastly, Magistrate Wireman motioned for the fiscal court to match money that was going to be donated by the Magoffin County Community Foundation to buy the Magoffin County senior citizens a new Meals on Wheels vehicle, to which Hardin said he would not support without an apology from the center's director.
Okay, there's nothing else to come before the fiscal court.
I do
Make
have
a
a,
motion.
I have a motion to make regarding the USDA application for a vehicle. The Senior Citizens Board is sent where they would like for the fiscal court to agree with them to, as far as their application goes, to purchase a Chevy Traverse. It's my understanding they have a matching amount coming from the Magoffin County Foundation, so it's not going to cost us anything.
Is there a second to that motion?
I'm not saying.
I will explain my no vote. Since Marlene has lied concerning things that dealing with the county judge's office, I will not vote for that until I receive an apology. I did not turn down a request for the senior citizens to replace their tires. Since the deputy judge, once I was aware that it was needed to take a look at the tires, and I make no apologies in sending him out since he's worked a great deal in the vehicles. I make no apologies to checking anybody when a request is made. In fact, I have a policy now that all purchase orders have to be approved by me personally on everything. For that reason, I'll vote yes when I receive that apology. In the meantime, my vote will be no. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, nay. Nay. Motion fails. Anything else to come before the judge?
With that, here's your weather forecast for the weekend and beyond. Local radar and your forecast calling for a slim chance of some isolated showers before 7, and that pretty much sums it up. Maybe a speck or two there, as you can see, moving towards the direction of Salyersville, but not expected to cause any problems. Maybe another sprinkle, but that's it for tonight. What we're going to deal with and notice will be the cooler air, because right now I'm at 56 degrees already, and expected, of course, to fall a little lower than that. Not that you know it by looking at your screen. That's supposed to be 41 degrees for tonight's low. Yeah, that's wishful thinking there. It's going to be a cool one tonight if you're wandering up to the football field. Cloudy skies, that 30% chance of showers, obviously outdated as well. I think I put that in about an hour and a half ago or two, so my apologies. Everything else is current from thereafter, and that includes your forecast for tomorrow, where things will increase back up to about 55. So we're 56 right now, and that's about where we're going to be for tomorrow's daytime high at 55, 38, but we'll see some sunshine, and we'll see dry conditions thereafter, but it's going to be cool. Even though we got 38 for tomorrow night's low, not really calling for much frost as of right now. However, by Sunday, patchy fog will be in the forecast, with all that moisture still kind of in the air, but check out the temperatures climbing to the upper 60s, nighttime low of 45, well out of the 30s. After the fog, sunny, mostly clear, definitely perfectly nice for a fall Sunday. Our most significant threats of some patchy frost start to work into the forecast by Monday. Not so much Monday morning, sunny and 65 on your Monday. It's Monday night when we see some patchy frost after 5 a.m. when we get down close to the freezing mark, ladies and gentlemen. 34 right now. Now, that number has changed back and forth for days, and it could between now and then. Keep your eye on it and those flowers that you want to keep around for a little while longer. But some patchy frost in the forecast Monday night into your Tuesday. Mid-60s again on Tuesday with that frost at the start. Sunny and mostly clear. And then on your Wednesday, hump day of next week, just looking that far ahead, 71 and sunny. We've got the upper 60s thereafter with a disturbance giving us a slight chance of some showers midweek. And with that, I'm off to what's going to be a rather chilly but hopefully exciting night of McGoffin County High School Hornet football. I've also got a camera tagging along tomorrow on another very neat football-related event and trip with some students here in the area. We'll have those and other reports when we see you back here Monday for more exclusive news and coverage on Your News Today. Have a good weekend and good night.